Knowledge is the requirement, the prerequisite for foolishness. First of all, what is knowledge? Knowledge is awareness of information. Being exposed to information is also knowledge. And my own definition, knowledge is known edges, having an edge on life or an edge at something. That is knowledge. With that out of the way, let's dive into foolishness, a word nobody likes so much. Nobody likes to be called the fool. Foolishness is so basic, so easily done, that it tends to be done very often. As a matter of fact, I genuinely believe that one can maintain a habit of being foolish, and I really mean a habit. So what then is foolishness? Simple. Foolishness is simply knowing but refusing to do anything with your knowledge. It's being conscious and aware of information, but you refuse to engage, you refuse to act accordingly. I will never forget a friend of mine. This is a story that has taught me some life lesson. This story has been like 4 years ago or 5 years ago. And this friend of mine put some senses into my head. I thought of him now, just as I'm saying this. So this friend of mine will get some information, an amazing information. You discover something transformating, a life-changing piece of information, maybe from a book, or he discussed something with somebody and he gets this information. And here's the thing: he will come to me and tell me, "Do you know that this? Do you know that this stuff? Do you know that like this stuff is really amazing?" And guess what I will say? I will tell him, "I already knew that." And to be honest, I already knew what he was telling. Let's say he says, "Do you know that Obama is this or Donald Trump is this?" Like some amazing piece of life-changing information, something like that, that's supposed to inspire somebody. And I would tell him, I already know that information. I'm not surprised. I already knew that stuff many years ago, probably. And there's something he said to me that got me thinking. As a matter of fact, I'm still thinking about it even up to today. And I want you to think also about that stuff. Here's what he will always say to me after I say, "I already know that amazing information you claim to be telling me now." He will say to me, "So you know this stuff and your life is still like this." Man, that stuff broke my heart. It shattered my heart. It's as if they shot me a bazooka. It's very, very crazy. Like, it was very, very painful. Whenever he tells me, like, "Look at that amazing stuff. Do you know that humans can fly? Do you know that if you do this?" I'm just using as an example. Like, he will say something that's amazing, like, "Do you know that humans could fly?" And I'll be like, "I already know." And he'll be like, "Well, why are you not flying? Like, and you are still like this. So somebody telling, like, "Do you know that there's a way to do things better?" You say, "I already know." And we're like, wonder, like, and you refuse to apply it. So basically, in common plain English, what I'm simply trying to say is, when you know something amazing, something wonderful, something life-changing, and you refuse to engage, you refuse to get active concerning what you know, it simply means you are practicing foolishness. The level of information available to the public nowadays is tremendous, but how come we are still doing so little that, honestly, compared with the level of information we have, as humanity should I say, ashamed of the kind of achievements we make? Because like, we have tremendous information. As a matter of fact, just in your phone, maybe in ChatGPT, you have like 10 libraries in your phone, and you're walking around with it, and we are not doing much compared to people who didn't even have as much information as we did. It's almost as if we have a habit of just gathering information for gathering's sake. The goal of life, in my own humble opinion, is not to become a walking library where we have so much information that could transform our lives. It could transform Earth to heaven, make Earth utopia, and all this information we have it, but we're just walking libraries, just walking up and down, walking. That's not the goal of life. Where you are in a library, you just store up information and keep them in shelves, neatly arranged. But I believe the goal of life should actually be a walking factory. Factory means you are productive. You keep producing, and producing. You produce companies, you produce inventions, you produce your ideas, you produce solutions, you produce cures, you produce buildings, you produce schools. You just keep being productive. I believe that is a better goal for life than just being the guy who knows everything and does nothing. As a matter of fact, a country's glory, what's a country? Nigeria, America, UK, Germany, those are countries. So when I say a country's glory and impact, Listen to me. A country's glory and impact is not measured by GDK, GDK, gross domestic knowledge, or GDI, gross domestic information. A country's glory, a country's power, a country's influence and impact is actually measured in something called GDP, gross domestic productivity. In other words, how productive a country is the glory and value of that country. So if countries measure their glory and their power, their significance by their GDP, what makes you, my friend, a human being, different from them? A whole country, a group of like 200 million, 300 million, even some countries are billions, and they measure their value and their impact in the world by their GDP. Why shouldn't you measure your life by your gross domestic productivity? How productive have you been with all the information we and you and I and everybody have learned? So the question goes, what makes a human so different from the country? We are what makes up countries. So stop impressing people and stop impressing yourself and stop impressing the world with what you know, but rather show them how productive you have been with that knowledge. In other words, could it be that a degree simply means you've got information, but a business or an investment or creating an idea or entrepreneurship then means you've got the revelation? It's simple. Think about it. A degree might just simply mean you've got information, but now what do you do with it? Or if you go into business, invent something, go into entrepreneurship, bring out ideas, bring out skills, become productive with your information, then that means you might just have the revelation. Now here's the danger of watching and listening to this kind of video. Is, if you carefully understand what I'm talking about, you will know that you just got another piece of valuable information to practice foolishness with. Of course, if you refuse to apply it to your life, it's all up to you. Will today mark the end of the practice of foolishness, or will this valuable piece of information be thrown into the shelf of a walking library? So, you have watched this video and your life is still like this. May that never be said unto you. Thanks for watching. See you next time.